Another guy who's getting a lot of interest right now is Cade Cowell because he's en fuego down in Liga MX for Chivas. This is against Mazatlan from the weekend. He's now got 3 goals and an assist in the first 4 games of the Liga MX season. Obviously, it's a bit of a danger right now to be a prisoner of the moment. Do you think they're going to regret leaving him off the team?
Let me start off with Cade Cowell and how impressive this is, and how impressive to see a U.S. men's national team player leading the way for Chivas. Like, that blows my mind. And a player who's only 20 years of age right now is one of the 3 best players in Liga MX. That's who Cade Cowell is today. He's been that important for Chivas, and he's been that much of a difference maker. There are actions to his play, consequences to what he does. He's a different player, and he's a player that we've always said when it comes to the Olympics, you need to be very careful who you choose because they need to be multi-faceted players, an ability to play different positions. He's played everywhere in that front line, on the left, on the right, as a withdrawn forward, and I think you could even play him as a 9 if need be. I look at the players they have. So potentially, let's say the starting 11 for the U.S. team right now in this Olympics is Duncan McGuire at the 9, Jordi Mihailovic on one side, and Paxton Aronson on the other. Let's say that's it right there, right? That's what most people have projected 11. It's not a lot of flexibility. These players aren't necessarily vertical. They're not with a lot of speed. This is who Cade Cowell is. You've got a Kevin Paredes who's somewhat similar, and you've got a Taylor Booth who's more of the mold of Jordi Mihailovic and a Griffin Yao. I actually think a player like Cade Cowell, who is in a great moment right now and is so vertical and just a threat with his speed, could be of use. But we're not going to know that until we see what happens out there. And this,
you know when we're going to know?
This goes for both. Until we see if Cade Cowell can keep it up at Chivas, and if we see if they're going to miss him on the field in Paris.
I think we're going to know not about if he can keep it up. I think we're going to know if they're going to miss him game 1. Because they're playing France game 1, and if you go back to March, they played against France, and he scored. It's not a great goal because it came off of a deflection. But a goal that I feel like only he could score. It's a long ball over the top. He gets outside of the defender for speed, cuts back inside, takes like 3 or 4 touches, very aggressive, and finishes it off. And by the way, that's a very good France team. It's the same team they're going to play. And he scores late in that game to make it 2-2. And you know who we're celebrating like crazy at that goal? The coaching staff that left him off the team. I'm frankly, whether they're going to miss him or not, again, only time will tell. I'm shocked he's not on the team. Like, he was so much a part of the buildup. He was so much a part of the foundation of the Olympic process. It's wild to me that almost there was this, like, overnight U-turn. Maybe being in Liga MX hurt him. Maybe it took him somewhat off the radar of this national team staff. The
other players playing Europe.
How do you explain it? How do you explain that a guy went from like a huge part of the team scoring against France, and that's not the only example. He was a huge part of this group, to all of a sudden now out of it?
You're telling me if he was playing in Bologna's reserves?
No, I'm telling you if he was still in MLS, I'm not excusing it, but explain it to me otherwise. Give me another reason. Give me another reason. We're sitting here.
I can only tell you the other reason is Griffin Yao, is a player that they liked more.
I guess he's in Belgium. It can't be much easier to see a game in Belgium than it is.
Kevin Paredes is a player that plays different positions. I'm not excusing it because I think he's in a great moment right now, but it is strange that a player who has spent so much of his time in that program will all of a sudden not make the last guy. And if memory serves me correct, I don't even believe he's an alternate.
No. Yeah. No, Cade Cowell left off, Diego Luna left off, and the U.S. kicking off the men's side of the Olympic competition Wednesday.
Wow, look at those two.
Look at that. When they face off against France. The women will be taking on Zambia in their opener, and we'll be looking ahead to that on the opening debut edition of Football W. That's tomorrow night here on ESPN Plus, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, but also live on ESPN2. How about that? They're putting us on linear as well for the debut show with Ali Krieger. Going to be a lot of fun.